How's it going, everyone? ND Sean 45 coming at you. I'm sorry I didn't do this video last night, but hey, it's Thanksgiving weekend. I was out having a good time with family and friends out at the casino. And speaking of which, last night was the first time I tried my hand at sports betting. Now, I've never really understood sports betting or how to properly do it, but thankfully my brother and a friend of ours have, and they helped me along. And I did a 6-team parlay. And get this. Of those 6 games, only one did not come through for me. And that was Oklahoma State. They didn't cover the over. Had to get to 70 points, and obviously they didn't do that. And, only if they had done that, I would be $450 richer right now. Damn it. But you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm only out $10. And it was a lot of fun just to make that bet and having a good time with family and friends. What more could you ask for? Whether you win $450 or not, that doesn't mean it wasn't a good time. But anyway, on to the game yesterday. For the first time in 10 years, the Irish end the losing streak at Palo Alto. Came in there and took care of business over Stanford 45-24. So pretty well in the ballpark of where I predicted. And for the first time since the early 90s, the Irish have had 3 straight seasons of 10 wins or more. I mean, really, I think the last time that happened was in the Lou Holtz days, and it was from, I think, 91 to 93, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I think not including this year's bowl game, as it stands right now, the last 3 years, the Irish are 32-6. Pretty impressive. But of course, according to the folks on the Notre Dame football Facebook page and the Notre Dame 24/7 sports page, you would think that we just had an 0-12 season. I mean, seriously, like I told you guys in the video last week, all these people on those pages ever do is complain, bitch, demand Kelly be fired, and all that stuff. It's unbelievable. I mean, I hate saying this. I love Notre Dame, but the majority of our fan base, maybe majority is too strong a word, but a lot of people in our fan base, I mean, they're making our fan base an absolute joke. It's unbelievable. But of course, as I've said many times before, a lot of these people complaining probably sold their tickets to Georgia fans in 2017 and probably to Nebraska in 2000. Yes, I know, another time where I'm repeating that story. But I bring it up constantly because I have to remind myself that these are probably the kind of people that I'm dealing with. But I mean, really, how many people bitch about a 10-win season? Seriously. But you know what? I have a special live stream idea that I'm going to use for this, so I'll cover more of that later. But anyway, as for the game itself, I got to be honest with you guys. That first quarter and a half, it frustrated the hell out of me. I mean, with the exception of our opening drive where we scored a touchdown, it just a damn near empty stadium out in Palo Alto, a 4-7 Stanford team, and we're making them look like Clemson. You would have thought we were playing Clemson the way that we were playing in that first quarter and a half, with the exception of the opening drive. So myself, I was frustrated as hell watching this go down. But thankfully, though, in about halfway through that second quarter, we started coming alive, made the adjustments, got a couple of scores on the board. Halftime comes, Clark Lee makes the adjustment for the defense, and the offense keeps rolling. And we just held Stanford in check pretty much for the rest of the game. Only allowed 1 touchdown in the second half. And so being able to make the adjustments, I'm impressed with that. I'm happy with that. But I'm not happy about the slow start because there could have been a number of times this season where that slow start could have came back and bit us in the ass. Thankfully, it didn't. But, yeah, that's a change going forward that we have to make. We cannot get off to these slow starts and expect to win all the time. That's just not how football works. But the end result is all that matters, and I'm pretty happy about it. You can't really complain after a loss. I mean, if we had won it, if we had played sloppy the whole game and, barely won, then this might be a different tune right now. But it's the opposite. We made the adjustments, we did what we had to do, and we put the game away. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy. Just not happy about the slow start. But let's go over the stats. And this is why I like being back on the computer indoors, because I don't have to memorize stats anymore. But breaking it down, Ian Book had a pretty nice game, 17 of 30, 255 yards, 4 touchdowns. Now this is the part that I really like to see, is the running game having a better performance than what they had. I mean, listen to some of these numbers. Tony Jones, 50 yards on 14 carries, 3.6 yards a carry, which isn't the best, but it's a contribution nonetheless. Braden Lindsey, oh, do I look forward to seeing this kid keep doing his thing in the next few years to come. 4 carries for 48 yards, an average of 12 yards. Jafar Armstrong, 44 yards on 3 carries. Ian Book, 29 yards on 8 carries. Sebo Flemister, 21 yards on 5 carries with a 4.2 average and 1 touchdown. Receiving, you had Cole Kmet leading the way with 5 receptions for 77 yards. And of course, Chase Claypool continues to do his thing, 63 yards on 3 receptions with 2 touchdowns. And I'm telling you guys this, and this is a no-brainer. This kid has an NFL future if he wants it. But yeah, Tony Jones contributing there. And after that, between Tommy Tremble, Lawrence Keys, and Jafar Armstrong, not a whole lot. But listen, I know things are going to get better. I'm very confident of that happening. But no, the defense stepped up, did their job. 1.5 sack, that coming from Agundaje. I've never been good at pronouncing this guy's name. Adunaje. I'm sorry I butchered that. And the other half sack coming from Jameer Jones. But the defense overall really stepped up and did a great job. So you can't really complain too much about that. And of course, there was the muff punt that we capitalized on that led us to another touchdown. And Isaiah Foley with the block punt. I mean, that was phenomenal. That was so big for us and he came through when we really needed it. So contribution from all around. But yeah, guys, overall, getting that 10th win to cap off the regular season, phenomenal. 3 straight 10-win seasons. Despite the struggles that the team has had this year, and I'm not talking like the season is over. It's not. We still have a bowl game to play. Whether it's major, minor, just have to play the waiting game. This has been a pretty solid season. Now, yeah, the 2 that we lost, I wish we could have gotten at least one of those. And going forward, that's something that needs to change. I mean, we have to start taking advantage of these golden opportunities on the big stage. And, down in Athens, that was an opportunity. We came close to doing it. Michigan, we kept it close until the third quarter, or through the third quarter, and then it got out of hand in the fourth. But those are games that we need to come through on. And we have some opportunities next year. Clemson comes to South Bend, and I forget who else is on the schedule, but I know there's a couple of big ones. Wisconsin up at Lambeau Field, which I'm thinking about making a weekend out of that one next year. 2 more big opportunities next year. There could be more, but I don't have next year's schedule memorized. But those are games we got to start taking advantage of and we can't give the committee any reason to keep us at a certain spot or drop us down. So yeah, 10-win regular season, or 10-2 regular season. I'm pretty satisfied with that, considering the fact that in the not too distant past, we would have been lucky to have won 7 or 8 games. Clearly, that's changing. I know a lot of people aren't happy with 10 wins, which I think is pretty insane. But as I've always said, you have to take the good with the bad. And if we don't make a major bowl game or win a national championship, then 10 wins and getting the chance to hopefully play in a New Year's Six bowl, I'd be just as satisfied with that as well. But of course, we need to start winning some national championships. I want to see one. I really do. So don't think that I'm just settling. I mean, that's what I've been telling you guys for the last several weeks. I don't settle. I'm just taking the good with the bad. There's a difference. But now, at this point in time, we play the waiting game. We had a few games that helped us out yesterday. Hopefully, finally, we should at least move up a spot or 2. I'd like to think so anyway. Michigan getting thumped by Ohio State and I kind of think Minnesota and Wisconsin was kind of a wash. I think either one losing could help us, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I was kind of hoping that Alabama could have beaten Auburn in the Iron Bowl, which would have been nice. But now there's more reason for the committee to slobber over Auburn, even with 3 losses. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens in the conference title games next week. But regardless, whether it's a major bowl game or not that we go to, we're still going to one. I'm going to watch it and I'm going to enjoy it, regardless of what that is. So, yeah, now it's just a matter of playing the waiting game. And also, if he's watching, to the user who calls himself John Waffle, from what looks like a Virginia Mountain or West Virginia Mountaineer fan, dude, you have some serious problems. I don't know what your deal is with me and why you're always so hostile towards me, but I've been pretty fair with what I've said about the Irish. So I don't know where you're getting all these ideas that I'm not fair and that I constantly bitch about the committee. I hold everybody accountable. Us, the committee, and so on. So it's funny how in this day and age that I think I'm a pretty fair guy in how I break down things. But it's amazing how you get these people, and I shouldn't just be calling out one person. I get numerous people that always come and pull this crap on me. But it's just ridiculous that even when you're fair, it's not good enough. But this John Waffle guy, every time I've come across him, or at least the majority of the time, there's always some kind of hostility. But of course, I know that he's a shill for a certain somebody, so that's not really a big surprise to me. But yeah, go back and read his comments, and you'll tell that this guy has some issues. I mean, I think when you're needing to throw your educational background, I think that just shows that you're a really small person when you're that desperate. Because it really is a sign of desperation when you're having to do that. But anyway, guys, enough time on that. Already a 12-minute video. I wasn't expecting that, but this is where I'm going to call it quits. Irish finished 10-2. I'm pretty happy with that. So now we just play the waiting game and see what bowl game we get. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we still have some kind of a chance at the orange or cotton. But it's a long streak at this point. So with that said, everyone, this is ND Sean 45 signing off. God bless, and go Irish!